American pride. Fuck the media. Fuck all of it.
Alrighty, it's been about 2 weeks. This is another nostalgic rewind video. This is going to be Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. And it's funny because, I kind of missed the date by, a few months or a little bit more. But February was the 10th anniversary of this game, which is really crazy because I do remember buying it on the Xbox 360 when it came out when I was in high school. That would have been, the end of my junior year? But it was released in February of 2013 for the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. And then, weirdly, I guess because due to port reasons, on the PC of 2014. So it took a minute for that. And so the whole thing with this game, not so I have to explain all the other games, but it's a sequel to Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots. It takes place 4 years after. You don't really see all the, any heavy hitter characters. You do see some of the old characters, but I don't want to spoil too much. You play as Raiden, and you're basically still just a mercenary for hire, but in a good way. You're trying to kind of help people. You're not just some asshole killing people nonstop for no reason. And to sum it up, you're basically just fighting other enhanced cyborg people who, they have their own goals to basically keep war going forever and are doing some very sick experiments that you see later in the game. And when I think about this game, so I played it when it first came out, and then I honestly kind of dropped it. I didn't even beat it. And then a few years later, I was like, oh hey, I do own that. Like, let me kind of finish it. And I think what made me appreciate it more is that when I had first played it, I'd actually only ever played half of Metal Gear Solid 2. I'd never played anything else, so I really just wasn't invested in the story necessarily, and I really didn't understand anything. So, playing it later on, after having played all the previous games, it helped a lot of understanding the world and really enjoying the character progression. And I do like Raiden as a character. His voice is kind of obnoxious and annoying at times, Obviously, I can't really... I guess I could complain that it's a little cartoony, but in a sense, everything in these fucking games are very, very corny, very quirky, so it, in a sense, kind of gets a pass. But what I like about this game is, I think why a few people, or maybe it was a lot, I feel like it got good reviews, but a lot of people didn't like how it just became a full-blown action game. When it's like Metal Gear Solid Tactical Espionage, something. But it's one of those things where it's like, game series can change for the better. And it's not like they were saying, this is Metal Gear Solid 5. You're going to literally be grabbing the arm of a Metal Gear and beating the shit out of it with it. No, it's a spin-off. Gives them a little bit more leeway to say, hey, I want to kind of do my own thing. It's so far away from the main story and the main story character that it's okay. Because it just gets ridiculous where, yeah, you're grabbing, like a 300-foot knife, basically, and beating the shit out of a robot with it, or, you go flying 400 feet in the air. And so, I enjoyed it. I have this memory in my head, and it could be completely wrong, that when it first came out, a lot of people hated it, but I looked, and it got really good reviews, so maybe it was just people in my personal life hated it. But, you know, because one thing I love, obviously, it's basically the gimmick of the game, is I mean, I'd say melee combat, but specifically your sword combat. Because you can have other melee weapons, which is nice, but your primary sword, the whole thing about it is that you can basically slow down time, more like like you're thinking, and you can actually cut things either horizontal or vertically, but at the same time, that's just if you click, what is it, X or Y, but you can use your right analog stick and cut in any direction you want, so diagonal, I mean, slightly I mean, every possible measurement you could want, you can do. And so I really like that. It really helps keep you engaged, because you're running around, you might be kind of slapping guys around, whatever, and you have your primary sword, but then you also have a secondary melee that you can choose from defeating bosses. And so what I like to do is, you get one of the first secondary weapons you get is like a whip staff. So it's like a staff but can turn into a whip as well. So I would use that for AoE damage. They're all weakened. And then I'd basically just run up to each one, do the slow time thing, cut them up, and then just get that health nonstop. Boom, 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 boom. And I will say, all the footage you're seeing, I'm playing on easy mode because, like I've explained numerous times, just to get these videos done, because I'm doing them more as a look back video and not necessarily like a skill or any kind of other related thing. I just want to get the footage myself. I want to know that I played through it, I beat it, and so that's just, the quickest way. And I will say, I beat the game in, I think it was like less than 5 hours, but that's me skipping, like, there's kind of side objectives basically to earn more points. I didn't do those. I didn't really go and look for the little artifacts and stuff that you can find. I didn't really try to redo anything. So if I went through, put it on normal, and tried to 100%, it'd probably take, a lot more time. So there is that. But it's nice that, just to get the video out, I can beat it on easy in under 5 hours. Boom, get it done, and be good. But yeah, that gameplay, and you know what? Maybe for some people it can feel a little old, because you are kind of doing the same thing over and over again. I mean, come on, like, you do that in all games, but do I wish that the secondary weapons had execution animations? For sure. And it would actually kind of be cool if there was a way for you to do like a different variation of the kind of like slow time pinpointing, cutting a body with your secondary weapons. Because by the end, you get some crazy weapons, and you don't do an animation or anything, so you're just doing real-time combat, I guess is what you could call it. But yeah, no, super fun, and you rip out like the cyborg spine or whatever out of people, and it's so over dramatic. It's fantastic. You can change your costume, which is really cool. It looks like I got it for free. It looks like they added it in for free eventually, but it looks like maybe it was a pre-order bonus 10 years ago. The Gray Fox skin, so it's really cool to have that. And there's not a skill tree really, just upgrades, and you just buy one, buy the next until you're done. And it helps, it is nice. The enemy variation, and I feel like I'm just now like rapid firing this, but yeah, the enemy variation, majority of the time you're just fighting your standard human cyborgs. There are those things, I don't know what they're called. I always called them moo-moos. but I have no idea what their actual name is. They're those two-legged Metal Gear looking things that moo like a cow. You fight a lot of those. You fight the bosses, which really there's not too many. When I thought about it, I was like, oh wow. Because you basically fight two bosses, and then when you're about to get to the midway to end point, you have to refight basically those two bosses again, but now at the same time. It's kind of annoying because I was like, well, so instead of creating like a lower, slightly tiered boss for us to fight, you're just rehashing the two bosses I just killed. And then right after that, I have to kill like the midway boss. And so it just kind of annoyed me where I was thinking like, really? Come on, man. Like, I think you could have done a little better. And obviously, the ending, which I will show footage of, but I don't want to show too much, is hilarious, so memeable. Just, I mean, it's will forever be alive thanks to the Armstrong memes. So, sometimes I would say it's even worth playing just to hear the end dialogue with the boss fight, because it's so funny how, you know, because you could sit there and be like, ho ho ho, like this sounds like politicians now. Ooh. And it's just funny hearing their conversation back and forth, just so over the top. But you know, I would definitely recommend this game. It's very odd. Like, I don't know if I could recommend it in a sense that, hey, just go play this with no understanding of the other games or anything. But I would hope that, because it's always on sale on Steam for literally like $5. So at that point, it's like, yeah, like try it out. It's just a fun action game, you know, that's super memeable. So, me personally, I recommend it. It's usually on sale for $5. Yeah, just go give it a try. It has a very unique gameplay. So, that's gonna be it for me. As always, thank you for watching.